Hi, this is James from Apteco. After I managed to give a rather bandwidth-constrained demonstration of our new Apteco dashboard capability at our annual user conference, Apteco Live, I thought I would record the demonstration so you can see how the dashboards normally behave for the sort of performance that you can expect. So a few minutes ago, I connected to our cloud stage system and extended the hours that our demonstration servers run, so I can give you a quick run through. It should only take 15 or 20 minutes to cover the material I was covering in the demo at the conference. This time I'm sitting at home at my kitchen table, just me, on my home broadband. It's rather different than the 350 plus people that we had in the conference hall at the conference. So quick reminder, the new dashboard is a capability we're adding to the Apteco Marketing Suite. It allows you to share information about the customers and the operational activity in your Apteco Marketing Suite data. That information can be shared in the form of a dashboard with multiple information tiles presented in a flexible, responsive design that you can control. I'll show you how to edit the dashboard design, and which can then be viewed on tablets or phones, or as I'm doing today, on a laptop, and is fully responsive. It can be shared with your colleagues, both within and outside your organization, controlled by the email domain of those recipients. You can share, for example, with somebody at your agency so they can see the customer or supporter volumes that you have. And those users can interact with the dashboard by either filtering to control the subset of rows that are used in the dashboard, or by drilling through individual tiles. So there's a different approach. Drilling is to navigate one tile, typically by dimensions in a variable. So for example, drilling from a date variable from quarter to month to week to day, for example, where filtering applies to the whole dashboard, and a filter you apply in one tile will constrain the rows and the data available in all of the other tiles. And if you're a licensed user, that constrained visual data selection can be used to create a marketing audience that you might use for targeting a campaign in Apteco PeopleStage, or which you or a colleague might use for further analysis in the Apteco FastStats application. If you're an unlicensed user, you can drill and filter, but you won't be able to view the underlying data, and you won't be able to create marketing audiences in that manner. That's a safety mechanism to protect that precious organizational data that's held in your Apteco Marketing Suite. So let's have a look, see what the dashboard can do, and in this case I'll launch it with a link built into the slide, which takes me to Google Chrome, my preferred browser, and in this case I'm going to log on by providing my password. And we see initially the dashboard, the Orbit overview display, which will show us the areas that we have in Orbit. Collections is data storytelling from analysts sharing narrated, curated collections of insight with their colleagues. Campaigns we'll look at later allow us to look at the performance of our campaigns, which campaigns are running, how much data are they producing. Audiences is our targeting tool, which is used for making marketing audience selections. But the new capability is currently shown here with a link in the title. We don't actually plan that to be the primary interface. This is just how we've prepared it for the annual user conference. And if I click on the dashboards link, you'll see an example dashboard. This is my home dashboard. It's the default one that is displayed for my user. And you can see across the top we have a number of cards showing, in this case, details about holiday bookings. This is using our fictitious demonstration holiday brand, Teal Green Holidays, and showing the number of bookings, the number of customers, and the number of households within a constrained period, in this case during 2018. If I scroll the dashboard a little, you can see different types of tile We have maps, we have pies, we have columns, we have bars, we have lines, and we have torus charts. And there are different visualizations present with labels and measures that you can control when you create the dashboard. Let's have a look at a different dashboard just to give you a flavor. If I choose from the menu the web visits dashboard, the dashboard tool will go and retrieve that information from my Apteco system. We're now looking at a dashboard to do with web visits. We can see on the right hand side within the constrained period, this is the last year, we have 44,000 tracked visits from 12,000 unique visitors who spent an average of 108 seconds per visit. It's actually fictitious data, so the patterns only stack up to a certain extent. The base filter has been created by the author of this dashboard, determining which subset of data they wish this dashboard to operate on. A licensed user can edit that and apply a different base filter if they wish. But let's just learn about filtering interactively. We can see here a tile that is showing how many users were anonymous and how many users were authenticated. So if I click on the authenticated slice of the pie and choose to add to the filter, we can see that the number of visits comes down, in this case to 14,000, and the additional criteria are now shown on the right hand side. Let's filter further by choosing to look at both tablet and mobile. I use the control key to multi-select, and I can now add two criteria in one go, and we'll see the 14,000 visits has come down to 6,800. The performance of the dashboard is the same as the performance of the FastStats selection engine. It will quickly evaluate the criteria and give you the breakdown by each of these variables. So if I wish to, I could remove one of those criteria, so I can remove the requirement to be authenticated. And now we go back up to 20,000 visits, and we can see that's from 6,200 unique visitors. Let's just practice the other mechanism. What we've done so far is filtering. So we filtered by two of the variables. We now have one of those remaining in place, but let's now drill. So if I click on the visit date, I can see that I get the option to both drill and filter. In this case, I'm going to drill down from Q3, which I selected, to see the months within that. Let's then drill on August, and we'll drill into the weeks within that month. And you can see it actually spans 5 weeks within the year, so it's counting the week number throughout the year, in this case through 2019. Now, this is currently presented in the standard Apteco theme, or the standard default theme, which is called Winter Chill. Let's see one built around the Apteco brand, and you can see a very different style. We have wild horses in the background. We have different colors presented to us. Let's choose a third one. This is called Sweet Shop. Very nice and bright. And if you prefer dark mode, you could perhaps use night lights as your theme. So quickly and easily reminding you which dashboard you're working on, choosing your preferred theme. I'll actually operate in the Winter Chill theme for the rest of this demo. Now, we've started to gain some insight into visitors, in this case looking at our web visits, but let's have a look at a different dashboard, and in this case we'll go look at customer value, just to give you a flavor for the types of dashboard that you can build. So we can see here a dashboard with a different structure. We have cards, in this case down the left hand side, of different sizes, showing us we have over 500,000 customers who've transacted within the selected period. This is the last 3 years. Average lifetime value of £1,200, and we can see further metrics down the page. In this case, we've got two different displays of geographic. We have a region variable and we have a postcode area map from the UK, and we ship the product with a number of different map shape files that you can use to display data nicely coloured with thematic shading, and as I scroll down you can see again different types of visualization, different types of charting used to convey the information. Let's just do another type of drill through, or use the drill through mechanism. This time I'm going to pick on the Coventry postcode area. That's where Apteco's headquarters is based. Let's just drill down and we'll see that one variable constrained by the Coventry postcode area, then drilling down into the just a cluster geodemographic variable. We can see the types of geodemographic area within the Coventry postcode area. We can get back up to that postcode area by clicking the link, and we'll quickly see the map presented again. Now, setting up that type of drill through, setting up the tiles is easy. Let's just scroll down. I'm going to choose this travel date tile on the left hand side, mostly just because it's visible and easily identified as I edit it. So let's go and choose to edit, and you'll see that the dashboard presents a preview of each of the tiles based on current data, and we now have options to edit and duplicate and delete a tile. In this case I'm going to choose to edit, and you can see the controls on the right hand side. This is my edit panel, and first thing we might change is from a column chart we can change to a bar chart. That's going to be horizontal. You can see at the moment the travel date variable is being banded in quarters. Let's change that to years, but you can see we have each of the other standard Apteco bandings of date variables, and there are many of them according to the type of date or date and time variable that you're using. But let's swap to band by years, and at present it is counting the number of bookings. Let's change that instead to look at the cost of the holiday, fictitious holiday booking, and we'll do that with a mean average function. So we've changed the type of the chart from column to bar, we've changed the banding from quarters to years, we've changed the function from counting to averaging, and I can just press apply to save that. And I remember too, we could have changed the descriptive title at the top as well, but you can see a different presentation immediately available in that that dashboard tile. If I wanted to add new items, it is as simple as pressing add new, choosing the description and the type of variable that I wish to present. Let's do a pie chart. Let's choose the dimension. I'm going to do that based on the source of the variable, so we can see that we'll pick off the source of the variable, and let's again do that by count of number of people. So we can choose the people table and choose to count. Let's say we're going to give this a description of source breakdown, and a description showing proportion from each source. And then we can apply that, and so now we have a new tile. If we wish to, we could choose to make that rather bigger, so we could make it both wider and taller. Let's make it a bit taller again, and you can see it doesn't take long to produce a useful addition to our dashboard. I can save that, updating the description if I wish to, and that will now be presented with my live data. So if I scroll down, you can see I've changed the travel date to show average order value, and I've changed the dashboard to show an additional element at the bottom of the page. So quick and easy to edit, just as easy to create new dashboards. Incidentally, if you're a licensed user, you can create that. But let's see a little further example of use. I'm going to choose to pick now the West Midlands and the East Midlands. Again, I used control click to pick those two. When I apply that filter, we see all of the tiles update, incidentally including the new ones and the edited one that we just created. But we can see an interesting correlation between the regions that I've picked, there are just two of them, and the shaded area of the country. And here I can see that the Shrewsbury postcode area actually stretches all the way across to West Wales. Now, I didn't mean to target that part of the country, so let's just go and click on a number of postcode areas that I do wish to target. So I'll choose this central part of the country, for example, and now I can restrict by that geography as well as the geography of the region. That's got me a better fit with the people that I'm interested in. So let's perhaps just go choose one other characteristic. I'm going to choose to filter by sales executives. It's a good part of my target base, a good part of my customer base is sales executives. So I've now selected by that. You can see I can work with the dashboard even while it's calculating some of the other results. We have just over 25,000 sales executives in the centre of the country who've booked between the required dates of the last 3 years. So you may notice at the top of the screen I can view the data. So using the dashboard, I can choose to see a sample of that data. So here's a sample of records of those 25,000 records. We can see these are people in the West Midlands in the postcode area for Birmingham, and their occupation is sales executives. I could choose a number of different pages. We'll see the unique reference number or identifier for each of those people, and it will give us a sample that we can look at. Maybe now that I'm happy I've got the right type of data, I want to share that. I can share in two ways. I'll start by sharing the dashboard, and when I share the dashboard, I can choose to do that with individuals. So I could share with my colleague Adam, who's a licensed user on the system, or I can share with groups. So I could share with my administrators group, for example, or I can share with unknown users who are controlled by their email domain. So if myagency.com is permitted, I can share with John at my agency. So that's somebody who may not yet be licensed on the system, but who can self-register and can then access this dashboard and interact with it with drill and filter, but they wouldn't be able to view the underlying data in the manner I just have. I can give some notes, an example of customer value analysis, and optionally I can send an email message. Hey team, this is the dashboard we spoke about. Enjoy. And I can share that dashboard with those colleagues. If they're unlicensed users, they will receive an invitation to register through a two-stage registration process, proving that they have control of that email inbox. So that was the first way of sharing. Let's just see a second way of sharing, and I can do that by creating an audience. So I'm going to create a post Apteco live audience, and when I create that, it only takes a moment, and I have a link directly to the audience that I have created. And this has taken us over to the audiences part of Apteco Orbit. And here we can see the base rule plus the three criteria that I created, region, postcode, and occupation. And guess what? That's resulted in exactly the same number of people selected, 25,000 people. If I wish to, I can now apply marketing rules, including the exclude criteria. I might exclude non-contactable records, for example. But I can also go to check the results, and this is showing the default check by the variables that are used. Let's have a look at a check panel created using a composition editor. It's like the dashboard itself, and we can see that we've picked the center of the country. Over here we can see the breakdown of our target list contains sales executives. We can see a number of other breakdowns and a further sample of data with more variables on it, defined by my administrator as a template. And so we're now happy we've got the right type of data in the right part of the country. Let's go on and export it. You can see the name has been filled in for me automatically. I can choose the type of file I wish to produce. And in this case, I may choose not to download it directly to my desktop, but I might want to upload it to an FTP site. We can see the layout that will be exported. Let's say we're going to produce an email list. Those are the variables that are going to be used, and so I can export that from Apteco audiences directly to an FTP site configured by my administrator, and there you go. In the time I've been speaking, Apteco's engine has produced the requested file format for those 25,000 records and has then delivered that to, in this case, our test site ftp.apteco.com, and then some test folders using credentials built into my configuration. So in a matter of moments, I've gone from a dashboard to an audience to a selected target list that I've then delivered into my operational areas. Let's just finish with a quick look at the campaigns area. This was changed during recent developments from a single overview report to now the ability to filter and search for specific campaigns. So I've clicked on campaigns. We can see we have many campaigns visible to us. I can filter, for example, to choose just the successful campaigns. If I wish to, within that, I could look for a particular type of campaign. So I could look for newsletter campaigns, for example, or if I remove the search, it'll go back to the subset of campaigns that meet the filter. I can control the date ranges that apply. But if I click on one of these campaigns, it will go get the detail for me. We can see this is a campaign that's run mostly on Tuesdays, but more recently it's been running every day. We can see spark lines across the top showing the volumes. Down at the bottom we can see this one is actually just producing file output, but the area that contains this campaign is listed in a path at the top left hand corner. So we can see that this cross-sell campaign is within the growth area, within the holidays division for the Teal Green Holidays marketing system. Let's just click on the holidays division, and now we see a different presentation because we're looking at all the campaigns within the holidays division area. We can see the volumes and communications in our demonstration data. We can now see that we're using email as well as file output. We can see the number of clicks and opens and bounces, for example. And down at the bottom of the report, we can see more details about the other campaigns that have been running in this area. Let's just click on one of those so you can see a campaign that's outputting email, file and Twitter, but it's errored, so we might want to go and look and see what's happened. Has one of those channels stopped working, for example? And we can see actually the campaign stopped back in October, and we might want to go and look and see why that was. So Orbit is providing a rounded suite of analytics, visualization, visual selection, sharing tools, as well as this type of pre-packaged reporting. And if I just finish by going back to the dashboard, I hope you agree this new look tool within the Apteco marketing suite adds value, makes the whole solution more coherent. And I hope it's something that you will enjoy using through whichever device you prefer. So thank you for your time, and if you have interest in the dashboard, please talk to your Apteco partner or to Apteco, and we will support you in understanding what the dashboard is capable of. Thank you very much.